Good afternoon, world. It is moments past noon in Waxahachie, Texas, deep in the heart of the Lone Star State. Here we sit on October 16th, 2025. And today is, believe it or not, the 100th. Can you see that on your screen there, guys?
And they can see. I think they can. Yeah.
The big
Is that what
100th?
they see? Is this what they see?
This is what they see right
Okay.
here.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Cool.
It's the 100th anniversary of Grit and Good News. Scott, Sam,
100th episode
Jeff,
anniversary.
episode anniversary, which
We're not
equates.
100. We haven't been doing this 100
We're
years.
right about 50 weeks. A few less. A few less. So we're broadcasting live from our palatial studio in downtown Waxahachie in the shadows of the Ellis County Courthouse. And my name is Jeff Lynch, and I'm sitting up in Sam's producer table. Sam's producing from the chair with Scott, and the two of them are going to have a nice show after I clear out, after we do a little fun stuff at the beginning. Then I'm going to take that cake and hightail it over to the sun
Save me a
and cut out a
piece.
big old chunk.
All right, Jeffrey. Thank you, brother. Today is 100. We got any NBA, NFL football players that were 100?
Man, time caught up to me. I didn't.
Wait,
I
no,
just
there's Sammy.
what?
Think about it, son. Are there any 100? Do you know any sport
No,
that's got three numbers in it?
I thought I was thinking one. No, there's
I'm
no
gonna
100.
knock
No,
you.
but you know what?
This would be
I was
0.
thinking
And
one.
I was gonna weigh in on this with you. Not, but you wanted that job, so I stayed out of it. You could have done well with the double zero.
Or double or single. But
Yeah.
let's see. We like to. Well, welcome to the
Why don't you
show.
Why don't you bring those for next week, though?
Well, we can do that too. But welcome to the show. We do this every Tuesday and Thursday. We've got a little different setup today. We are integrating Sammy more into the show so that we can address and appeal to the Gen Zers. Gen Zers see me and Jeff as old curmudgeons probably,
Which we are.
and so we're going to integrate Sammy into the show more. So we're set up a little bit different. Jeff's normally there where Sammy is, and Sammy's normally where Jeff is. So we threw you a curveball today, but I do. Let's you can do this research for the numbers. We like to take the number of episodes that we're on. In this case, 100, as Jeff just told you, and find notable. Not some obscure minor leaguer in Hialeah, Florida, or something, but somebody you would know if you're a sports fan that wears that number. We know for a fact that there is no 100 now batting. The Texas Rangers number
No,
100,
yeah,
Sammy
no.
Brooks. We know there's none of that, but we do know that there's, Jeff said, zeros and double zeros. We can do it off the top of our head because there are a few I
We're gonna
know.
have to because I didn't.
Well,
Get
I
to
know, but
read.
Jeff said you could do it next week. Well, next week
Yeah,
will be number 1.
yeah, it would be.
But let's just say what.
You go ahead and do the ones. I'll catch up on the zero, double zero.
Yeah.
Well,
So the zeros. The zeros I know are. Well, let's go back and forth and see. And hey,
Okay.
Terry, glad you're here, bud.
Okay,
He
I
said,
know one.
all right, what is it?
Russell Westbrook.
He took the one I was going to take. All right, how about
I got another one.
is Devo Sam? What's his name?
Devo Samuel.
Samuel, whatever the dude's name is. Used to play for the 49ers.
He's number one.
Oh, there are a few double zeros and at least
Our Cowboys linebacker from Texas, who he's injured right now. Overshown. He's number 0.
Overshow. Oh
We
yeah,
got
yeah,
Brian Burns,
Good.
Damian Lillard.
Good.
There's a lot more in the
But
NBA.
what was the other Burns? Who's that?
Brian Burns, he plays for the Carolina Panthers. He's a good edge.
Number 0.
Number 0.
Let's see if I know. There aren't any zeros in baseball. There aren't any zeros in hockey.
They allow it in baseball, right?
I don't think so.
No.
And I don't think they allow it in hockey. They've only recently allowed it in the NFL. And the NBA, I think, has had it, the league that's had it for the longest time. By the way, last night the Lakers and the Mavs played. Did you watch any of it?
I didn't. I'm waiting for October, I think, 22nd.
Well, the baseball playoff game was a blowout, so I flipped it over to see Cooper Flag, and he had 13 points, and they beat the Lakers, but LeBron didn't play, neither did.
Well, LeBron's injured. He's not going to start the season.
What did he do?
Something wrong with his hip.
Somebody pull a hair out of his head and it hurt. But
Yeah.
And Luka didn't play.
Okay, he has played. He had a debut.
When's it start?
Next to on Kennedy's birthday.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Kennedy's birthday is 21st. Ooh, how old is she gonna be?
23.
Oh my goodness, she's robbing a cradle. But so I watched a little bit. But he
Cougering down.
He put on a move in the 2 minutes I watched. He put on a move
Cooper.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but he had
Cooper
13
can
points.
play. He can play.
Yeah, Debo plays for the Commanders now, and
Commanders.
he's number
He's
one.
number 1.
But that's good, Sam. You know those zeros. I only knew one.
Yeah, I
Russell
could think of
Westbrook.
more. There's a lot. Tyrese Halliburton's number 0. Um,
This is IQ too.
yeah, there's
Uh,
a lot in basketball.
all right. So there's other things we want to catch up on before we do some stuff that we normally do at the end of the show. We're going to do at the beginning of the show today, and then Sammy and I got several things we're going to talk about that a little down, in our bailiwick, but also kind of different. Marine Ball, I keep talking about that. It's local. It's at the Civic Center. That's going to fall off. The Civic Center on November the 10th. So the Marines in Ellis County or of Ellis County, I don't know exactly how their title is, but they are putting on. I don't think it's the first ever, but it's the first in a long, long, long time. Marine Ball. I mean, the whole shindig and decked out to the nth degree. So that'll be happening November the 10th. If you're listening and you want to go, let us know. Scott at waxahachiesun.com. If you are listening, you don't want to go, but you know somebody that wants to go, whether it be a veteran or somebody that's patriotic or would enjoy it, let us know. We have 6 tickets available, and we will let you sit at our table. This is it's a we got to dress up and that kind of thing, and it's a very nice meal and speakers and music and all that stuff. So it's a real ball gala kind of
It's a
thing.
highbrow
Yes,
affair.
it
Yeah,
is a highbrow
we
affair.
have plans for Tom to come over and record tomorrow,
Yeah,
so we'll get that done.
so Sammy is with the Marines doing walking them through, helping them do a podcast, which you'll be able to see whenever it's edited and ready to
We're ready to
go.
go. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna post it, I think, on our stuff. I'm not sure, but
Okay.
we'll see.
All right, cool. So the MLB playoffs, this is the only time I watch baseball. I mean, it's like hockey. I can't deal with baseball in April when it matters. Ultimately, it all matters, but I can't watch baseball early. It is just too
It's
boring to
so
me. And same with
boring.
hockey. It all matters to these players because like in football it matters because right now these 2 games that the Bills have lost is going to
Cost
impact
them.
them when they have to have home field advantage in Buffalo. They have to have it to get past this curse they've got with Kansas
The
City.
Chiefs.
And losing these games that they should be winning is going to cost them that potentially.
Hmm.
Same thing happens in the other sports, but now we're into the playoffs with baseball, and it's down to Milwaukee against the Dodgers and Seattle against Toronto. And last night, Toronto, Toronto's down 0-2 coming into Seattle in the way they're playing these series are best of 7, and they go 2-3-2. So 2 in Toronto, 3 in Seattle, 2 in
And it's
Toronto.
first to win 4 games.
Yeah,
That's what that
so
is.
Seattle can potentially close it out at home by winning the next 2 games, and conversely, Toronto knows they got to win 2 games in Seattle to
Hmm.
make it go back home. And it was a blowout last night. I mean, it was 12 or 13 to something. I don't know. It was big. It was bad.
Blue Jay.
Blue Jays blew
Yeah,
them away.
that's
Yeah.
that's who I think will win. That's who I have. So
Well, they're down 2-1 now, and got 2 more games in Seattle. And then tonight are 2 games. So you got LA and Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
LA is up 2-0, just like Seattle. LA went to Milwaukee, who had the home field advantage and won 2 straight games. Now they're going back to LA, and LA is obviously wanting to shut it out
Yeah.
or sweep it. So we'll see what happens tonight. But both games are on, and then of course on the Monday Night Football is the Bengals are playing.
You
Oh
say Monday Night
dang,
Football?
Thursday Night Football. Who are it's the Bengals.
I haven't even seen
It
it.
drives me crazy. I can't
Yeah, I
I
haven't
can't
even
remember.
seen
But
it.
anyway, that's on tonight. Um,
Yeah, I don't know.
Cowboys, we've hashed that out.
Well,
What?
something I want to say about the Cowboys. I think they're going to go under 500 because of their defense. I don't
Yeah, they
care about our offense. Our defense is giving up 30 plus points a game. We're gonna go under 500.
I got the word yesterday on the street that Jerry's shopping defense trades because
He
he
better.
he is draft pick rich right now.
Yeah,
Well,
he
I
is.
I wonder, I mean, when you think about a trade, who he's going to have to trade from the offensive side of the ball. We're going to have to give up some
He's
offense.
trading from the draft pick
Yeah, he's
side of
got
the
Oh,
ball.
the
picks.
picks. I
Yeah.
got you. Yeah, I mean, if he's got early round picks like he does, he can make some hay. But our defense is like, I'll never forget when I lived in Madison, Wisconsin. I used to go to their hockey games, the university. It was when Curtis Joseph was goalie, called him Cujo, because it's Curtis
Because you,
Joseph.
cause you got a like a goalie named after a rabid dog.
Yeah, and he was good. He played a long time in the NHL, but the chant at that game used to be to the goalie, "Sieve, sieve," which means it's like water going through a filter, like the
Oh
holes
yeah,
in it.
yeah, yeah.
That's what sieve means. But
Gotcha.
that's what the Cowboys defense is. Moy and I
Mm-hmm.
were talking yesterday about the Buffalo Bills. Same kind of
Same
thing.
thing.
That game the other night is just they were a sieve. And what's his name? Bijan Robinson. He didn't have as many yards as Dowdle, but he ran through the Bills like Dowdle ran through the Cowboys.
It's Steelers tonight, by the way.
Yeah. Hey,
Steelers,
Yeah,
yeah.
Sam, I got word Overshawn looks to be back this weekend,
this weekend.
And he's
Oh,
a
I was
stud.
thinking. I was
which is
thinking.
ahead of schedule.
Yeah, I was thinking middle of November.
He's a stud, and he'll make them better.
Oh
He
yeah.
could track guys down. I hope we didn't lose that speed. He had
Yeah,
speed
he's
at
Yeah,
that
good.
line
because
with the quick acceleration. He
the
was
What was his
middle to.
injury?
I
What
think
was?
knee.
Yeah, he's good. So
But
we'll see.
that first game against Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts whooped us running the ball, and everybody was saying if we had Demar or whatever
Dowdle.
Overshone,
Oh,
no
Overshown. Yeah,
Overshone on
yeah,
the defense, he could have
yeah.
spied him or whatever.
Well, we'll
So
see. We'll see. I mean, the
yeah,
Cowboys are gonna have to do something because you're right. They're not going to win much.
I think Dak is the MVP, right? Either Dak or Baker Mayfield, but because of our defense, it's not giving credit to Dak.
Yeah,
So
no, I totally agree with you. Any tarnations y'all got?
oh, I forgot. Dang it. Time cut off on me. I
Yeah,
looked at the clock and it was 53. I didn't get to look up any. So I'm
a
sorry,
Gen
people.
Zer
Yeah.
doesn't know the space and time and cannot ever keep their phone charged. Do y'all have Gen Zers in your life like that? My
66%.
precious son.
Because we dogged
That's
you on
because yeah,
Tuesday
because we
and you
dogged you,
haven't
and you know
charged
we
it
got a
since.
show the other day today. But he called me. When was it the other day? Dad, I have zero on my something you told me. I got zero on my phone. Can you do this for
He
me?
wanted to do his 5 random thoughts
Oh,
Oh
early
that's what it
yeah.
was. Yeah.
because he didn't want to lose them.
Do you have any terminations, Jeff?
None today.
All right. So here we go. We normally do Jeff. Jeff is the Texas poet. Normally we do. Jeff reads his work at the end of our show before we do our day in history. We're going to move those two regular parts of our show up to now, and then Sammy and I are going to jump into our agenda. So Jeffrey, what do you got?
Written here in Waxahachie, inspired by seeing a Christian rock band warming up at Chautauqua for a revival they
Right.
had coming up that week. We got talking a little bit, and I was thinking about how it's just one Jesus. We're all different.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. There's just one Jesus, though many stake a claim, born without a fuss, given a heavenly name. An expression with an interesting flavor is Lord Jesus, my personal Savior. He's done us all a real big favor. Jesus talked quite a bit about the simple golden rule. If you refuse to believe it, you're Satan's hate filled tool. Such a lack of love by those who feel above the feelings of others, even their sisters and brothers. Yes, love conquers all. Jesus made this call. In a world without electricity, yet quite full of animosity, Jesus taught us right from wrong. He showed us how to get along. Just try a little love, said the man from above. Now more than ever, let's strive to never forget just one rule, the simple Christ filled tool.
Very good.
Awesome.
For those of you that have heard, well, at least 100 poems now, and Jeff writes poems that appear in the Waxahachie Sun, and we do them. We have on Substack.com. We have our brand Grit and Good News, which is what this is. That you can go search Grit and Good News, and you'll for $5 a month, you'll be able to get a lot of content that appears in your email mailbox on Mondays and Fridays, first thing in the morning. Included in that are Jeff's opinion poems, which you add to the list of poems that he reads on here and that he writes for Grit and Good News. There's a ton of poems that are available to you. In this case, these are books. How many books have you written?
I've written three in a children's book.
Yeah.
Three in a children's book and published a couple with students.
Yeah. So as we get closer to the holidays, what do they range in price?
10 to 17.
Yep. So we'll be reminding you as as we get closer and we have our shows around the holidays that it's a really nice Christmas gift to give people you love. Those are all most of the poems. Not, I'd say 99% of the poems are they're awesome, but there's no hate. You're not going to give it to somebody that you love and then they read a bunch of hate stuff. So it's a
We
real
talk a
feel
little bit
good.
about some hate in it, though.
Yeah, you talk about hate, but it's not hateful. So yeah, so we'll be talking more about that. All right, anything else, Jeffrey, before you have to hit the road?
No, sir. I know you
Oh, we
guys
got
are
to do
gonna
days in history.
have a
Yeah,
good,
yeah, yeah.
capable
Okay,
time without me.
let's do it.
And I do want to do our true false. I love it
Oh,
when
you
you.
want to do that first?
Yeah.
Okay, we can do that. All right, let me write here. I got to keep track of how bad I do on these. Okay.
Radical abolitionist John Brown led an unsuccessful raid on U.S. arsenal at Harper's Ferry in what was then Western Virginia. The raid failed to spark Brown's intended slave rebellion, but deepened North-South animosities, leading to the Civil War. You
Yeah.
just heard animosities in my last
Yeah,
poem.
interesting. So I would say
Eight,
18.
1859.
Why are you trying to answer before me?
So I at least seem smart if I get it right.
You know,
You didn't get it right, I can assure you.
Oh.
I like
Uh,
you stepping up. I like you
you
stepping
you
up.
did, yeah, I like you taking charge too. I'm gonna say, oh, that might be right.
Yeah,
What'd
Yeah.
you
right.
say?
He said 1859. I say 1861.
How would you possibly know that?
Because Civil
Was that
War is
right?
1860s.
Yes,
Is that right?
1859.
Good job, Sam.
Seeing if you would have said
I was
61,
be
people would have think, oh, I just went off of him.
Ever
no,
since we
Sammy,
got you to
Sammy.
know the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, World War One and Two,
Yeah.
Well, I
and
don't
You,
know. I don't know when the Revolutionary War was.
yeah.
you know, we're about to have the 250
Yeah.
celebration
Into the
coming.
1700s.
1775
Yeah.
ish,
Okay.
and before really.
All right. So we both got that one, and you got 2 points for
I
that.
got 2 points.
All right,
Bonus.
Jeff, what do you got?
The Cuban Missile Crisis began as President John F. Kennedy was informed that reconnaissance photographs had been revealed the presence of Soviet nuclear missile sites in Cuba. And I missed this by one. I debated between 2 years. Come on, you should know this. Hey, JFK was
Yeah, yeah,
not
yeah,
in
yeah.
office that many years, okay?
I'm going to say the year I was born, 1961.
Okay, I'll go 1959.
1961 it is.
Okay.
Booyah.
You got the bonus. Okay.
All right.
Elected in 60,
Okay.
inaugurated 61, had a turbulent 62,
And then was
and
killed.
shot dead in Dallas 63. That is
Yeah.
a short reign. Here we go.
Yep. Terry got the first one right too.
Yeah, he was in the range.
Yep.
American athletes Tommy Smith and John Carlos sparked controversy at the Mexico City Olympics by giving Black Power salutes during a medals ceremony.
Yep. I remember. I can picture them now.
Okay, give me a second, sir. When was last date? 61. I'm gonna go
Did you hear what I said about the Olympics?
Mexico City.
Yeah, because when I played it this morning, she didn't read it. I got the bonus for that.
Yeah.
So you guys are
I
deprived.
think I know
I'm
what
gonna
year.
go 84. 1984.
72.
68.
Ah,
4 years off. That was one Olympics
dang it.
off.
I
Yep.
had no
But I
idea.
remember them standing there with their black gloves on,
Yeah.
doing the power. Yeah.
Okay. I love this man's name.
Look at Terry had 1962. What? It was 68. They were within the range, Terry.
Let's go,
68, yeah.
Terry.
Yeah.
Okay. I love the name. Anglican Bishop Desmond Tutu
Yep.
was named winner of the Nobel Peace Prize for his decades of nonviolent struggle for racial equality
I
in
remember
South Africa.
that interesting accent. The year you just gave I think it's pretty close.
I forgot what I said. I'm gonna go 79.
88.
84.
We're both
got
right
it,
in the
okay.
middle. Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Doing good. Doing
Five
good.
and
you
oh.
don't remember this in your life, Sam, but I'll tell you what, if you'd lived in this, you'd hear about it every day for a week. 18-month-old Jessica McClure
Yeah.
was pulled from an abandoned well in Midland after being stuck there more than 2 days.
So the last year was what?
We finished up with 2-2 in 84.
Yeah. So this had to be
I'm gonna go 2000. I'm gonna go 1992.
1986.
87, you're both in there.
Come it.
I thought we were breaking the 2000s.
No, not yet.
Okay, here's a solid. This is a bonus opportunity. A gunman opened fire at a Luby's cafeteria in blank, killing 23 people before taking his own life.
New
We're
York.
looking for the city, or you
I-
could give me an
it was in
establishment.
Texas.
It was
Oh,
in Texas.
Amarillo.
No,
I
thank
want
you.
to say, I know this is not right. It's the only name that comes to mind. Colleen.
Well, it is right.
Oh,
And it's right down from Fort Hood. It's just outside of Waco.
yep.
And
Okay.
that was
That
a
was
big
brutal.
thing.
Yeah, that was
That was a
brutal.
big
Yeah, I
thing.
remember.
And
And the year was
I'm gonna guess.
Okay, so you got the bonus, and then the year
I'm
is
gonna guess 2 on 3.
98.
91. Sam's in, you're off.
No, I'm not.
No, other way around.
I'm not
I had
in.
98. Sammy had 2003.
Oh,
Ah,
I was inverted. Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go. We close with the Million Man March, a gathering of black men meant to foster unity in the face of economic and social issues affecting African Americans, was held in Washington, D.C.
18.
2019.
95.
Wow.
1995.
That long ago?
Was that the last one?
That was it. I was 7-2.
Well, with 5
I was
and
5 and 3.
9 and 1 today. 9 and 1.
Five and
And
five and
Terry
three. That's good. Good
Terry
number.
did good too.
Sam.
And I don't know what the 1983 what that year applies to, but anyway. Very good,
Yeah, good
Terry.
job.
So there you have it. Our day in history. All right, Jeffrey.
Feels
Thank
like
you,
we're
bud.
feels
Oh,
like
you
we're
wanted to do our oh, you guys will like this. So we do every show we do a true facts that sound like
and I
BS.
promise we're just starting our podcast. We're not ending.
No,
This
we're not
feels
ending. We're inverting it
yeah.
this week on this show. So true or false, the CIA used cats as spies.
True. Cats
Ac-
are awesome.
According to a former CIA agent, the CIA surgically implanted cats with listening equipment and released them around sensitive Soviet locations during the Cold War.
Yeah, I've watched videos about that.
There you go. Glad to know cats are of some value.
Hey,
Stealth-like as they are.
All
yep,
right, brother. Have a great afternoon. Be careful.
yep.
Holler if you need me.
Have a good weekend. Stealing that
Oh,
cake from
take the
us?
cake. There goes our cake. Oh my
No.
gosh. All right.
Oh, jeez.
No, 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 no. I was just
No, yeah,
kidding.
we're kidding.
That'll give us some room.
No, we're good.
No,
We're
no,
good.
we're good. All right. Thank you, bud. All right, Sam, let's get into it. So we're going to start with an issue that it's being addressed. It's kind of quiet, but I thought you guys would appreciate it, largely because Texas and Florida are the two states that are taking the lead on this. But do you recall during the last 5 or 6 years, particularly probably 2 or 3 years ago, when the woke got so woke that the alphabet mafia out there,
Yep.
LGBTQ and the others, were got permission to paint their logo or their label, their icon, whatever you want to call it, on city streets and roads. And so you had cities like in Dallas, other big cities throughout the state, certainly in Florida, where big rainbows existed.
Mm-hmm.
And kids, particularly kids, although it were some younger, older people too, were were going out of their way uh, I don't know what you want to call it, demark or mess those up by
Burning out.
screeching
Yeah,
out,
yeah.
burning
Burning
out.
out on. I've seen that too.
Yeah. So, Sammy's obviously wearing his Alabama hoodie today, and we're big Alabama fans. I certainly am. Yeah, but I don't go around advocating that we ought to paint our streets here in Waxahachie with the big A.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
or the logo of the church that I go to or anything else. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, the shows I like to watch, we don't, we're not clamoring for what's his name on Breaking Bad?
Well, Walter White.
Walter White's picture to be painted on the street. So I only share that absurdity because sometimes using absurd things to point out absurd things is pretty effective. But that's what was going on. We had so many politicians and mayors, we still do, that allow this nonsense to happen. Well, with that said, Florida and Texas now have given these municipalities and areas that have these the silliness on these streets to get them cleaned up. I think they have 30 days in which to do it, and so that's specifically. I wanted to tell you this. Florida and Texas have mandated the removal of rainbow crosswalks and other LGBTQ plus symbols from public streets and government property. State officials have argued the symbols violate traffic safety rules and constitute political displays on taxpayer-funded property. Texas, particularly, um, Governor Abbott ordered the removal of the rain of what I just said from the roads. Abbott directed the Texas Department of Transportation, TxDOT, to ensure all cities and counties remove any political ideologies from from the streets within 30 days. And this was just recently.
I completely agree with that.
Yeah, TxDOT's uh, orders specifically prohibits pavement markings, so on and so forth. In addition to the crosswalk ban, because some of these things are on the crosswalk. A new Texas law effective September the 1st, 2025 prohibits government entities from displaying LGBTQ flags in or on buildings they own or control, such as schools.
Okay.
So that's what's going on in these states. The broader issue here is it seems to me that the country, pardon the pun, is beginning to wake up from the wokeness.
Mm-hmm.
Did the woke bother you? Because Gen
Um,
Zers, there are a lot of Gen Zers that are into they listen to things that make them think that transgender and rainbows and whatever else you want to name it's captured in the woke argument or woke movement
mm-hmm.
are good things.
Mm-mm.
So your circle of friends aren't into that stuff, right?
Not one of my friends are into that stuff. So I
Did
and I never really come across that in my day-to-day life,
yeah,
except when I would go visit my sister up in Seattle area,
yeah,
Poland area. That
yeah.
stuff was all over the place. I mean,
And your
just
sister is a Sammy's half sister. Uh, she was kind of, would you say she's woke? Was
uh
woke? I don't know about now, but
well,
was.
I would say yes. From the definition of woke,
What
yes.
about your brother?
He I don't know.
Can't tell.
I really don't know. I know he's not a conservative. That's what I can say, but I don't really know.
Um, yeah, so the idea that again, the smallest groups or movements among us are able to determine or dictate narrative and what we do in this country is just totally insane. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I've said before on here that and I'm not picking on anybody. I would say this again. I would say this about any movement out there, even if it's, I love to play softball at one time, and it's a lot more people out there that play softball than are transgendered. But pick any kind of movement, that
Yeah.
people like. We don't see their icons and their labels painted anywhere, or us having to adhere to their philosophy. But yet we allow these folks to, and the left really, to intimidate so much so that we all have to watch what we say.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm glad to see that Texas and Florida are starting the
Yeah, no, me too. And if my viewpoint is, if they allow the rainbow, then, they should allow, for instance, Turning Point USA to go around and, spray paint or do their logo all over the roads.
right.
I wouldn't want that.
Yeah,
That's not what roads are
good
for.
point.
That's not, every type of people, all type of people walk the road. So you never know who's going to see the message. And it's just roads are not for political agendas.
Yeah, I agree with that totally.
Um,
That is a great comparison. Because Turning Point USA is, if there's anything real popular right now, obviously it's Charlie Kirk and
yeah.
TPU USA. We just celebrated in here his birthday on Tuesday. But I don't recall any institution like a university
Uh-huh.
denying transgender movements. Matter of fact, I think a lot of universities,
They
academia, maybe some high schools
they
accommodated them.
invite it.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
accommodated them and were willing to change how they did things so as to welcome in the transgender community or the gay community or whatever other community. But now we hear in the news where professors in some uh, higher level academia, whether it be a dean or a provost or a chancellor or a president or what have you, are fighting against certain, in certain places, TPUSA charters
Yeah.
or meetings,
Mhm.
and I don't remember any of that with
No, no. Me neither.
the
It doesn't,
LGBT.
it doesn't happen with them.
Yeah. All right. So there you have it. I wanted you all to know Florida is equally aggressive in getting rid of this nonsense. So more to come on that should anything happen. I suspect I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know if I suspect it, but I wouldn't be surprised that if in Dallas, by example, if that group, those who support uh, transgender and the rainbow flag and all that, gets word as to when those things are going to be paved over,
Mm-hmm.
that there would be them sitting in the streets and
Oh yeah, just sitting
gluing
on it.
themselves to the road.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
they're gonna be so upset, but it's just roads are not for political
yeah, no,
agendas.
I agree.
It's simple as that.
I agree, bud. All right, we're gonna play a video for you. Let me set this up. We're gonna play several videos for you today. Uh, four of them. Three of them are of serious nature, and one of them is just for us to, we say our name is Grit and Good News, and sometimes we forget about the good news part. But and so we want to have some levity today. So we're gonna show you something I think you'll get a real kick out of. But this video is at I don't know what the meeting is, but it's as you will see, it's a meeting like that you would hold at an arena or a convention center or something like that, with conservative people on the dais and some liberal folks there as well. This one specifically is Stephen A. Smith of ESPN, who has uh, made reference and implied, and even said it directly, that he's considering running for president in 2028, which I find interesting. I'm not a big Stephen A. Smith fan. I lost my interest in him a few years ago whenever he was saying, in preparation for a game, in a pregame discussion, that a certain player uh, wasn't, he didn't think it would be performing well in the game that's about to come on, and went on and on and on and on. Well, on the air, one of the other hosts said, Stephen, he's on the injured reserve list and has been all year. And so Stephen A. Smith was faking it. And I didn't appreciate that. It was just a couple of years ago. So I've struggled with that ever since. In this case, Stephen A. Smith, as you will see, makes a case for the average person out there and why he's running for president. So, Sammy, let's play that, and then Sammy and I'll talk about it.
Okay.
Want to say something? I just want to say, there it is. I'm trying to be very respectful to everybody because they deserve it.
Why?
Let me say that, no, because you deserve it. But let me say this. I don't think Washington understands how ticked off we truly are. Think about the conversation that we're having right now. You brought up the single-payer system, emulating Canada.
Is that the
You
beginning,
know,
Sam?
we're looking at a president that just gave $20 billion to Argentina. We're hearing about or witnessing what I consider to be a retribution tour. And even though to some degree I don't blame him because of how people went after him, still it appears to be counterproductive. We're listening to this kind of stuff while a young man walked up to the microphone and said that he had to leave here to go and work on DoorDash to help pay for his daughter's tuition. Meanwhile, everybody up here getting paid. But he ain't. This is this kind of stuff right here. That's how you know, and I'm not accusing any of you directly or personally of feeling this way. I'm just talking about the apparatus that is Washington, the nation's capital. This is why you have so many Americans, excuse my language, so pissed off at Washington, because somehow, some way, you get to have these conversations, engage in specific elements of it to talk about what we need to do to get things better. Our debt is $37.8 trillion. Somehow, some way, the taxpayer's been paying this, been throwing money, because we all look at our check, and it's been going to the government. And somehow, some way, you're supposed to be doing something constructive and productive enough to make sure that we don't have that kind of deficit. It isn't happening. A government shutdown is going on right now. A man has to work on DoorDash when he's really an air traffic controller that we applauded. And we're up here talking about how much some money is going to cost. And the only person that don't have a check coming is him. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a break.
There you go. So, despite what I said earlier about why I've struggled with Stephen A. Smith, I completely, well, not completely, because there are a couple of things I want to mention, but I completely agree with him. Sammy, what do you think?
I respect that he's, standing up and using the platform or the stage that he's on to say that kind of thing. And yeah, just
Do you the government shutdown doesn't, I mean, in one way or another, all of this us, but we don't feel you're not an air traffic controller, you're not laid off from your job, you're because of the shutdown or furloughed as they call it.
yeah.
Your uncle in the Coast Guard, retired from the Coast Guard, he's not getting a check. Eddie,
My
he's not
uncle.
getting yeah, he's
Oh,
not getting a check.
yeah.
And he won't until he's furloughed. He was sent home
Wow.
last week.
Wow.
So those in our military, Trump is correcting that by telling Hexeth to find money to pay our military. But right now, there are people that are expected in certain federal positions to still work and not get paid. The others are sent home and not get paid.
Mm-hmm.
But Stephen A. Smith, do you think, from your vantage point as a 21-year-old, you've grown up pretty much with Stephen A. Smith being uh, i- out there?
Yeah.
One, do you like him? And number two, what do you think he's right?
I think he's right for sure. That DC doesn't really, see the disconnect between us.
Hmm.
I think he's right with that. And Stephen A. Smith, when it comes to sports, some of the takes I do like.
Yeah,
Some of he keeps it real most
yeah,
of the time.
yeah,
And I think from my memory, I can't jog it, but if I could, I think he's a believer in Stephen Curry, and
yeah.
he really likes Steph, and he thinks he's really up there, and I agree with that. So, um, there is some things I don't agree with on Steven for sure, but I don't watch him all the time. So I would say that I like him enough to to watch him and listen to him.
Yeah, he takes shots at the Cowboys. He doesn't like Jerry Jones, and he
Well,
makes
I
fun
agree
of it.
with I
Yeah.
agree with that.
The one thing, a couple things in there, I do take issue with. One is that he's calling Trump's what's happening to Comey and to others a retribution uh, tour,
Yeah.
and I don't, I get you can't. It'd be silly for us to say Trump doesn't have somewhere in his human nature the desire to get back at people who have done something to him. We just experienced at the Sun, as many of you know, three members of a city council, the majority of our city council, punitively went after the Waxahachie Sun, us, because I've written columns about them and a few other reasons. So it's all retribution. And if they tell you it's not, which is what they're attempting to do, they're lying to you. And we will continue to point that out. I don't think Stephen A. Smith said that it's not doing any good. It's counterproductive, is what he said about about Comey and the others being indicted, Letitia James up in New York. I don't I totally disagree with that.
Yeah.
If you've committed a crime,
Yeah.
you should be forced uh to pay the price in this case. And I mean, depends on level of crime, but Jim Comey was a former FBI director,
Mhm.
and he lied to Congress. You can't lie to
Mhm.
Congress. And he did other things that were awful. And there are other members of the intelligence community that are going to be facing it. Adam Schiff, who I've write about him tomorrow. Well, no, I wrote about him this past week. It's he should pay the price.
He should. Yeah, he should.
So, what do you think about Stephen A. Smith as a candidate for president?
That I didn't know that, and I think that's where we have the disconnect is in politics. Most of the time.
Yeah,
So I think that's just silly.
for him to run for
Yeah, I
president.
think that's. I didn't even know. Does he consider himself as a political figure?
Well, he's becoming that.
He's becoming.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
why he's at that event.
yeah, I mean, see, I don't watch Stephen A. Smith, and if I do, it's when he's talking about sports. So I mean, I know he talked about politics a little bit, but I didn't know he was that deep into
Yeah,
it.
he hasn't announced that he's running for sure, but he's announced that he's considering it.
Yeah,
Eh,
he's gonna be disappointed at the least. So I
Yeah,
don't know why he would do.
the what's interesting about Stephen A. Smith running for president is that the other candidates on the left are going to be it's going to be like that bar scene in Star Wars. I don't know if you remember that, Sammy, but
Star Wars.
there's a bar scene in Star Wars where there's all these weird creatures hanging out at a bar. I mean,
Yeah,
really strange people, not people, creatures, little
creatures.
aliens, and so I think that's what the left is going to end up having. Where you got Gavin Newsom, Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, Stephen A. Smith,
I
whoever else is the usual suspects. It's going to be a mess.
I tell you what. If Stephen A. Smith wins over JD Vance, I am moving out of
Yeah,
this
that
country.
there's not a chance that's going to happen. I guess there's a chance anything can happen, but I
I'd be
don't think that.
gone.
Yeah, so I don't think that's going to happen. But there you have it. That's what uh that's what uh, the even the those of us on the right need to look and say, and we try to do it all the time. Washington is at the core. Washington is the source for the infection that is ailing America.
Yep.
And Stephen A. Smith recognizes that.
Yep.
All right, let's take a look at another video. John Fetterman, let me set this up. John Fetterman, the senator from the state of Pennsylvania, who, when he ran, if you all remember, he ran at a time when he had, not long before running, he had had a stroke, a pretty serious stroke. And that stroke left him somewhat debilitated, meaning that he couldn't, I think he had problems even walking, but because you get paralyzed and your mind, things happen to your brain. And so he was experiencing some pretty horrific uh, symptoms and causes and consequences of that, but he still ran. And I, for one, among many, many millions out there, was saying, "Wait, this is incredible."
Yeah.
He's running against Dr. Oz,
Crazy.
and it was, yeah. I mean, he couldn't hold his thought. I mean, it was not his fault, and didn't want to ever make it fun of somebody who's going through a serious calamity like that.
Yeah.
So that wasn't the issue. The issue was why would we want someone with you don't want me if I've got a broken leg to be your wide receiver. It's nothing about me personally. It's that I've got a broken leg, and so my questions were, why are we doing this? But as it is with a lot of strokes, I've got friends who've had strokes, and over time they make progress. In some cases, they get back their full use of their body, their brains come back. That's what's happening to Fetterman. And Fetterman, interestingly enough, is as much of a I think he's as much of an independent as any independent. I even believe that there are parts of him that are a Republican because he stands for, as you will hear in this video, he stands for things that we believe in and that are just logical. So let's play this, and then let's talk about what it is we hear, and go from there.
This is the correct video.
That's it. Yeah.
I've never
So
seen him before. So
this is John. I can't remember his first name. Fetterman from Pennsylvania
He's-
talking with Bill O'Reilly.
So is John Fetterman on the left?
Yeah, on the right,
Oh, on the right.
the
Okay.
bald-headed one. Yep.
Okay.
He always wears a hoodie.
Okay.
Look, you support Israel, and the progressives don't, generally speaking. You are for a very rigorous defense against Putin in Ukraine, correct? You want to stop him, right?
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, I would fully support. In fact, I just on social media, I encourage President Trump to provide tomahawks to the Ukrainians.
Okay.
I mean, it's like he is probably the only person in the world that could end this terrible war. And I think, why can't we all agree that's necessary?
You're not a wild spender. You want to get
No.
the debt under control. So why are you Democrat?
No,
Because your party is against you on all three of those issues.
Well, I mean, a lot of the things that maybe I really believe in calling balls and strikes, and I think I want to follow the truths. And
Why aren't you an independent then?
Well, I mean, those are some independent thoughts, but overall, I mean, you have to pick one side, Republican,
Why?
Democrat. That's always been my party. And
Bernie's
Bill, let me just say, it's like I'm the only Democrat in my family. I grew up in a conservative part of Pennsylvania, and I grew up and I know and I love people that voted for President Trump, but they are not fascists. They're not Nazis. They're not trying to destroy the Constitution and those things. And that's part of another thing. I refuse to call people Nazis or fascists, or I would never compare anybody to Hitler and those things. And now that kinds of extreme rhetoric is going to continue. We're going to be more likely in resulting in extreme kind of outcomes and political violence and doing all these kinds of things like Charlie Kirk. For me, all I could say is like, let people grieve. Give people the space. I'm not going to use that terrible thing and that Pasek assassination to make my argument and try to put out my views. It's like, my God, you know, he's a father that had his neck blown out by a bullet. And now people have forgotten. President Trump was in my state, was shot in the head. And if that would have, could you imagine where our nation would be if he was hit in the same way with Kirk? We really got to turn the temperature down. And we can agree to disagree on these kinds of things. But right now, shutting down the government, I just can't take it that. So
Okay, there you go.
Oh.
So there you go. John Fetterman,
be conducted
again,
like
who's come such a long way in such a short time. Be happy for him and his family. He made great sense there. You can still see some residual effects of a stroke.
I didn't really see any.
Yeah, they're kind of subtle. But he's a bit irreverent. He wears a hoodie all the time, and he doesn't, sometimes he's in gym shorts and a hoodie in Congress and in the Senate and in chambers, which he needs to have more respect
I
for.
don't really know why he doesn't think he can't be a independent.
Yeah, well, he mentioned it in the context of his family. So,
Yeah.
you've been raised conservative. At some point, you're a free-thinking young man. So at some point, you may want to change. But if you're not totally convicted, and there are some things about, say, the Democrats or independents that you don't really like, you'll just stay where you are.
Okay.
You can vote any way you want to. Most people who declare to be or claim to be Democrats vote Democrat.
Yeah.
But there's some issues, and there are some people that you can vote. You can vote for anybody you want.
Yeah.
But John Fetterman makes such good points, and I don't know. I wonder what it's like. I mean, I've called some people some names. And before the show's over today, I'm going to share with you a little tidbit of something that happened on Tuesday. And I'm never proud of it when I do that. I've always tried to stick to focusing on the person's behavior rather than them as a person. But I wonder what people who go around calling people Nazis, and the Gestapo and Hitler, and what they feel like when they're done doing that.
It honestly, it just doesn't even make sense to me. If I really think about it, I seriously do not see the comparison
Mhm.
between Hitler and Trump, Hitler and or Nazis and Charlie. I just don't see it. So it doesn't bother me because
Well, there's a common phrase in mostly in politics, but you can use it in any sphere of life, a straw man. So a straw man is, let's say you and I believe that uh, that something that isn't real is real.
Mhm.
And so, because we've convinced ourselves that it's real, that's the straw man. The straw man is straw because there's no real substance to it. It's flimsy. It's whatever. So we've convinced ourselves that something that isn't true is true, and then we argue for it or against it. And in that, people on the left have said Trump shows these tendencies.
Yeah.
So it's like Rush Limbaugh. There are a lot of people in the world that believe that Rush Limbaugh was an arrogant, pompous guy. Well, he played on that. He found that he liked to, as I mentioned earlier in the show, he liked to use absurdities to highlight absurdities. So if people are going to call him that, then he would act it out. That's why you would hear him say, I can beat you with half my brain tied behind my back," or how he would call himself the best ever. He was playing on that, and he found that a form of entertainment. But he wasn't that way. Trump, if you listen to people who know Trump and deal with him, talk about his compassion and his desire to want to help people. He's obviously on the national stage showing you that he's willing to do everything he can for peace and
Mhm.
freedom for people.
Yeah.
So, but the left, like with Charlie, you followed Charlie like I was with Rush. So what are the things they said about Charlie that aren't true?
Everything, but Nazi, non-Christian, um,
Racist.
racist, fascist.
Yeah.
Is that don't
Yeah.
like women? Is that
Fascist?
yeah?
No, misogyny is women.
Misogynist.
Fascist is like a dictator.
Di-
Yeah.
See, yeah, that doesn't make sense. But they also said he hated women, and it's just I don't I don't think it should be said. I do not think people should be going around saying Nazis, anything like that, because it causes stuff like
Yeah,
what happened
well,
with Charlie.
and so what the left does are all those students that used to, it changed over time until Charlie died. It went from no support on campuses to a wave of red hats, right?
Oh yeah.
But and even now there are people that call him those things. They convince themselves in their mind
Yeah.
that he's that way, because they've either heard people say he's that way or they interpret what he says in the way that they want, and they create this straw man that they then hate.
I
The
think
dude that
anger is
killed
a
him.
driver
Yeah,
too.
well, the dude that killed him was convinced of Charlie being something that Charlie wasn't, and it
Yes.
cost Charlie his life.
Yes.
It happens a lot, and
So
it's sad.
yeah, so therefore, or there while it doesn't bother me all that much when people would call Charlie a Nazi, you're just so angry.
Yeah.
You are just so angry it doesn't even make sense.
Well,
So I don't it doesn't
yeah,
I don't it doesn't make me upset, but it makes me upset in the same way that they're saying it. Like, like it doesn't not personally for Charlie, it doesn't make me want to defend Charlie, but you're saying stuff that can lead to what happened to Charlie,
that's
and
right.
you need, I that's why I don't
It
like it.
happens on every level. I mean, there Chuck, a common, a frequent viewer and participator in our show, wrote me a long email saying, Scott, I perceived you to be one way, from years ago, only to find out on your show that you're not that way, and I apologize for that. But that's people often never get to a point where they admit the real Charlie, in this
Mhm.
case, was never the Charlie they said he was,
Yeah,
but it cost him his life,
his life.
and it tried to kill Trump for the same way.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah,
And so it exists. That's what Fetterman's saying. We got to calm that stuff down and get rid of it. We don't need to
we
calm it down. We need to purge it.
we have to, because more stuff is going to happen like this and we cannot take it.
You're right. All right. So we got a video here of Kamala Harris. It's
Oh yay.
a bit entertaining, but it's also a bit sad. It's a bit silly. It's a bit absurd. And we're playing it for you because she's going to be back on the national stage here in probably a year when they all start seriously running for 2028. But this is what Kamala Harris said yesterday. If you'll notice, the interviewer calls her out kind of in a tongue-in-cheek way that obviously Kamala didn't like. But we wanted you to hear this, and then we'll talk briefly about it before we end up closing out our show.
Well, some people have actually said I was the most qualified candidate ever to run for president.
I like the some people say. Very nice, but go ahead.
I'm just speaking fact.
Yeah.
But for example, and the fact that I was elected district attorney for 2 terms as the first woman elected attorney general of the state of California, ran the second largest Department of Justice in the United States, second only to the United States Department of Justice. I was the United States Senator, second black woman elected in the history of the United States Senate, and I was the first woman vice president of the United States. So there are those things that I needed to make sure that people knew.
So that's the mentality that Kamala Harris still has, despite not realizing how bad that makes her appear, how silly, how crazy that. I mean, even as I said, the interviewer, like some people, we have a council person here, Travis Smith, who likes to say he was contacted by a bunch of people and he's doing this, or in this case he was encouraged by a bunch of people who stopped by on his porch and told him he ought to run for county judge and blah blah blah. I don't know about you, but I don't believe that for a split second. So the somebody's out there comments are always not always, but often a ruse, and in this case that the interviewer calls her out on that. But
Yeah.
again, we go back to Stephen A. Smith. We're going to have, it's going to be entertaining. On the left, you're going to have those people I mentioned to run.
Yes.
On the right, it's going to be, I think, early on, if not already, the conservative, the Republicans are going to say J.D. Vance is our candidate for president of the United States. That's going to be definitive and strong and set.
It's the vice.
That's right. So the vice president going to be I believe it's going to be Marco Rubio.
Mhm.
But there may be others.
Yeah.
So, and then you look down the line at our bench and say, wow, we're pretty stacked. But as a young Gen Zer, what do you think of Kamala Harris when you see stuff like that?
The first, the first black woman, the first, the first. I want to hear policies,
Yeah.
like actual stuff.
Yeah,
Not that you were the senator. What did you do while you were the senator?
exactly.
Like I want to hear, you kind of your accolades. Did you average 30 a game for a year?
Right.
I don't care that you were in the NBA. You could have been in the NBA and averaged nothing.
Yeah,
So,
true.
she needs to be telling people. I guess she's not campaigning right now,
Campaigning, yeah.
but she needs to be telling people policy
Well, I
and
think
stuff like
the
that.
reason she does that is because she doesn't have it
Yeah,
or she doesn't know.
yeah,
And so it's a semantics, it's a word game. Well, she's known
yes.
for her word salads, but it's a word game.
Some people, you better name the names right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, if some people, who are those some people?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to end up closing the show. Normally we have our day in history and our poem by Jeff. We're not going to have, we just did that already, so we won't have it at the end of our show. Uh, we end our show usually with those, but I've got something different. We're going to show you a video here in just a second. But I want to tell you the show is sponsored by Hoosier Custom Meats. They're in Italy, Texas, about 25 minutes from Waxahachie. And Hoosier Custom Meats has a boatload of meats that are available for purchase. Some of the best out there: Angus cow, Wagyu. I always don't know if I say that right.
It's Wagyu.
Wagyu.
Yeah.
They have cutlets, beef patties, ribeye, New York strip, fillets. They have various boxes that you can buy. These are make great gifts for Christmas and for Thanksgiving, of course. They also provide or sell jerky, snack sticks, smoked sausage, summer sausage, bratwurst, as well as meat, church, barbecue rubs, and seasonings. So we are grateful for their sponsorship, and we want you to know about them. Hoosier, HOOSER, custommeats.com, 903 688 1446. They produce really good meat. All right.
Mm.
So today we're going to end with a video. A guy named Clay Cooper has a show in Branson, Missouri. So he's geared more towards older people. I think Clay is probably around my age. He's a singer. He's also a kind of a folksy comedian, and he just brings a smile. His little shtick brings a smile to your. It can bring a smile to your face. It does mine. It makes me laugh. In this case, in every show he goes into the audience and he talks to members of the audience. Again, his audience is skew older. I wanted you to see this one, and then we'll just end the show once it's over.
You describe how's the golden years treating you? Pretty good? The what? The golden years. They're not. They're not. Do you agree with that, sir? 100%. 100%. Have you noticed any like changes in your body, like weird stuff happening as you get older? Yes. What should I look forward to? You'll know it when it's there. You'll know it when it's there. Boy, I am fired up about that, sir. Because I know when I turned 40, I went blind like that. I couldn't see my cell phone a week after my 40th birthday. I'm like, what's going on? And then when I turned 50, I had to start shaving my earlobes. Nobody ever told me that hair would just start growing out your ears, and sir, you know what I'm talking about?
And your nose.
And your nose.
They are.
What?
You got to be careful with the razor because you can cut yourself.
Because you could. Oh,
Yes. I mean, you know.
Can you see it? Yeah.
I didn't know we was going to get a demonstration, ma'am. Have you ever watched him do that to himself? No. You do that in private, right?
Yes,
So you just cut it with a, okay. Okay. Yeah. Boy, I can't wait to get older. Y'all are really cheering me up here tonight. Yeah, no, I am, sir. And then here lately, my wife, she said, she said, honey, I think you're going deaf. I said, what? She said, I think you're going deaf. What? Is that a hearing aid? Let me see that.
All right, Sam, that's good. Thumbs up.
You
Thank you
just
for
had
being
me
with
in
us
here.
today. That's our show. We'll be back on Tuesday to share with you more information and get your thoughts. And we appreciate so much you watching this show. We're up in the 2,000, 3,000 viewer range, which for a small show, us just doing what we do, we're really grateful for that. We do have tickets to see Scarborough Hollow, not Screams this year. So it's more of a family festival environment that takes place on Saturday, every Saturday between now and the end of October, or I think maybe the first weekend in November. It may go longer, but we have tickets available. They also will have something special on Halloween night. So if you want tickets to Scarborough Hollow, reach out to us at 972-316-7707. Ask for Kennedy, and she'll make sure you get the number of tickets that you would like. Thank you for being with us today. God bless you. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll see you on Tuesday. Thank you. Bye.
Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a good day.
Bye.